Hello! Today I'm going to show you how I edit my video footages. So, you can see here I have the full, let me mute the thing here so it doesn't get, oh actually you cannot hear it anyway. Never mind that. So for now you cannot hear anything that's going on, which is good because it's a mess when I scroll back and forth. But you can see here, here's the full, like the full editing file. So, you can see here I'm using Adobe Premiere, and this is a very useful program, especially for me, since I'm also doing YouTube on the side and I use it a lot for video editing. But to cut to the chase, I have here the files, and you can see here's the animation, and the animation goes on for 3 scenes, as you can see here. Those are the 3 scenes I've made, and the rest is just the animatic I did prior to this. And in the end, there's the ending credits. So, but let me get into how I made these 3 scenes, because you can see we have some light going on, we have some moving assets going on, like they're moving independent from each other. So let's go into the first sequence I've made here, and that is the first scene here. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of assets here, or elements. But the 3 first, let me hide them for you so I can show you exactly. So the first layer is just the background, and you can see there's some light going on here because this is much more highlighted. So let me go into this, and you can see I have this effect going on, and I'm using this for almost I'm using this for every scene up until this point at least, and that is to give this like sun radiant look. And you can see here there's a lot of lights going on here. You have up to like 5 lights you can customize. Only the first one is actually active in this one, and it's a spotlight, so that's why it has this like spotlight effect. And it comes from here, and it then goes like and highlights this. And the light is white, but in most of the other like layers of this, the highlight is going to be like pale yellow to look like the sunlight. But for this I chose the white light just to make a more even brighter light in the background. And as you can see, it's moving, and it's moving subtly, but the moving here is because we have this position, and I set the position marker to this in the first frame, and in the last frame it is set to this. So it's going to move a bit on the horizontal line. This image is a background image I painted in Paint.si, and yeah, all of these layers are actually layers in the background I painted. So this is one of the tree layers. We have another tree layer here, and you can see they move in different speeds, so we get this like overlaying effect. These 2 layers don't have any light on them, but when we go to the animation layer here, the animation layer goes above all of these, just to get like in between the trees. But yeah, you can see the animation is going faster than usual. You can see it's very fast. But that's because in this layer here, I made a nested sequence, and what that is when I have multiple of this is the raw animation. As you can see here, this is the raw animation, and what I did was add them together. Like I'm going to put these two like right next to each other, like this, and then I'm going to mark them, and then I say nest. Then this is just one sequence. So now when I do something to this, it's going to apply for the whole thing. So like this, I don't have to think of like the individual images, because this is longer than one times this loop, so I had to put two together. That's why I made this nested sequence. And what I did to this nested sequence was speeding it up. You can see I have the speed and duration here, and I sped it up to like roughly 150%. So it's going like a little faster than usual. But the reason I did this was because the next scene, you can see if it's going to load here, she's moving a lot slower here because it's going to create like a slow-mo effect. So this is why I made her move faster in this, just to emphasize the next one. But yeah, so this is the one, and you can see we also have some light going on here, because this is not the light from the background, but you can see she's darker here than here, for example. She has some highlight going on here, and that's because I put on a lighting effect as well, and I made this light like slightly greenish yellowish, like lime color, just to like contrast her blue hair, for example, and also like blend her in with kind of this forest. So this again is a spotlight, and I turned down the range. I turned up the range, so it doesn't seem like there's a spotlight just on her. It's going to the light is like this huge or something like that, but I also made the light move, so it's like it looks like it's stuck at this position. That's why the light like moves on her body. That's why she's very much darker here. And that's basically what I did to this layer. I also made her move, of course. So yeah. The next layer. This layer is like tree layer, and I also put the light on here. You can see there's some lighting going on here, and it's exactly the same like I did before. I moved the light so it looks like it's fixed here. And one thing I also did with this layer was adding a camera blur. So what this does is it looks like the trees are kind of blurry, and that is because I want it to be out of focus. So we have focus on Yume here. So this is one of the three layers, and then I have the last layer here. And this layer is the adjustment layer. And what I did to this layer was add a luma curve. And what the luma curve does is it adds the light, or in this case darkness. So if we like move around with this, put it here, that's the standard thing, it will be looking practically like nothing else is here, like nothing is done with it. But if I drag it a little to this, it's going to be like darker. And this gives the like eerie forest look. So going to set it back. Like this. So yeah, that is basically what I have done with practically all of the layers. The adjustment layer is basically like a blank layer you can add on top of everything. Um, and as soon as you add an effect on the adjustment layer, it's going to apply for the whole thing. So kind of see this as, for example, in Photoshop, when you have all of these layers, but you add this layer on top and you paint like this gradient in the edges. It's kind of like that. It applies to the whole thing. It's not like a mask. It applies to the whole thing. So I think in the second and third scene I've done in the second scene I've done exactly the same as in the first scene. I added some lights on the character, made the light move so it looks like the light is fixed. I made the front two branches here camera blurred so it looks like they're out of focus, and I made the backgrounds move. So, and also the adjustment layer is also the Luma curve, so it looks like it's darker. So you can see it's a lot lighter now, and it doesn't look as dark and sinister, but this like adds the effect, the intensity to the image. Okay, so this last scene I've made, if I can get it to show, because it's kind of a large file here. Yeah, there we go. You can see I have only 3 layers here. So the first layer here is the background. It's a very, very big image, that's why it takes so long to load. But that's because I used this background for multiple scenes, just in huger and smaller scale. So this layer has this lighting effect as well, but it has 2 lights this time. First of all, we have this Omni light, which I made like a moss green, just to intensify like the green in the image. The next thing I have is a yellowish spotlight, just to like give this kind of a light and show where the light comes from. So it comes from here. It's kind of easier to see here. You can see there's light on the tree trunk here. So what I did with the animation layer is I made the lighting effect as well, but I also did a drop shadow. It's a very, very subtle drop shadow. You can see it a little here, but it kind of gives this effect that she's leaning on the tree here. You can see the shadow here. So the thing with the drop shadow is, because this is just one layer, I can't really like drop the shadow and it only hits the tree trunk. I think I can actually, if I could like cut out this, but I didn't want to bother with that, so I just made the drop shadow just appear when she's near the trunk. Then the last thing we have here is the adjustment layer, and it does basically the same as the last two. It like darkens and intensifies the colors. So yeah, that's basically it with how I did the editing for this. I want to show you guys the last scene, which is the end credits, because I did kind of something cool with it. So the first thing we have here, I can show you all of the layers here, because this is the basic background you can see here. It's the blue background, the kind of blue background here. And then we have like multiple layers of particles, and you can see these particles are moving around. And the thing is, the particle layers are basically just painted in Paint Tool SAI and then exported in layers, transparent layers. So I can move these particles around and it looks very nicely. So yeah, these two are just images, and they fade out with this Dether like cross dissolve, not cross dissolve, but Dether dissolve, and then the credits roll in, and you can see they have some really funky borders. Um, Also, the font used for the titles here is the same font as the title of the show. And I really like this font, so I really wanted to reuse it for this. The font below is, I can show you quickly here what it's called. This font is called Kosuka Gothic Pro font. And it's one of the, like, extra fonts, like, yeah. I'm not sure what to call them. They're not like in the main font family, but they're like extra fonts in Windows here. So yeah, the font here is called Ravenna, and yeah, it's this very like bold but very like unique font. But yeah, the borders. You can see here we have the stroke, and that's what I applied to this. And the reason why the stroke is like this is because I added texture. And the texture is basically the background image, one of the background images I used for the thing. It's the forest from the first scene. And I thought it would add a nice like touch to the borders. It kind of looks like it has this like shine, and it's very nice. It's very nice. I really like the look when I tried it out, so I wanted to keep it. Also, it kind of contrasts nicely to the like bluish background, so it's easy to read, which is why I liked it a lot. So I have all of the credits here, and of course I credit the music artist and the voice actress, and yeah, the story artist as well. So yeah. But yeah, that is basically it for the editing. This is basically how I edit every video, every scene, what I showed you here in the three first scenes. That's basically how I'm going to go about the editing for the rest of the scenes when I finally get around to making them. But yeah, uh, so this was it for this video, so I will see you guys again next time. So bye bye for now.